Good morning, dear students of class 7. I hope all of you are fine. Students, today we are going to start with a very important topic of our grammar section, that is the topic tenses. I hope you all are very well aware of the term tenses. After going through this PowerPoint presentation, you will be familiar with the term tenses and its various kinds. You will be able to recognize the tenses with its perfect and progressive forms. You will be able to use the suitable tenses with appropriate time markers. And you will be able to use perfect tenses with increasing accuracy. So let's get started. Students, tenses denote the time an action takes place, whether sometime in the past, in the present, or will take some time in the future. Tenses communicate an event's location in time. They are identified by their associated verb forms. For example, I play tennis is in present tense. When it gets changed into I played tennis, it is the past form. And when we say I will play tennis, it will be the future tense. So play is the present tense, played is the past tense, and will play is the future tense. We have three types of tenses: the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. In the present tense, we have four types: simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. In the past tense, again, we have four types: simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and the past perfect continuous. In the future tense, again, we have four types: simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and the future perfect continuous. We'll study all these types of tenses. Firstly, we come to the present tense and its types. A tense that expresses an action that is currently going on or habitually performed, or a state that currently or generally exists, is the present tense. For example, I go for a walk every day. Raj studies newspaper twice a day. Her sister is an engineer. Water freezes at 0 degrees. Now, simple present tense is the tense where action is mentioned simply. For example, I work. Present continuous tense is the tense where action is mentioned as incomplete or continuous. For example, I am working. Present perfect tense is the tense where action is mentioned as finished, complete, or totally perfect. For example, I have worked. And present perfect continuous tense is the tense where action is going on continuously and not completed at this present moment. For example, I have been working. Moving on, there are some rules to remember in the present tense. Firstly, in simple present tense, where there is a positive statement, we write as the subject plus am, is, or are plus the predicate. In the negative sentence, we write the subject plus am, is or are plus not plus the predicate. And when it is an interrogative sentence, we write am, is or are plus the subject plus the predicate. Now, simple present tense is used to express general truth. For example, the sun rises in the east. It is used to talk about a habitual action. For example, I play badminton every Tuesday. It is also used in future timetables. For example, our train leaves at 9 a.m. It is also used in future after, when, or until. I won't go out until it stops raining. It is used in permanent situations also. For example, he works in a bank. For newspaper headlines also, simple present tense is used. For example, man enters space. Simple present tense is also used with non-progressive sentences. For example, I believe that you are innocent. It is also used when we are telling stories. For example, suddenly the window opens and a masked man enters. And lastly, simple present tense is used for giving directions and instructions. For example, first of all, you break the eggs and whisk with sugar. So all these points are the usage of simple present tense. Moving on, we have present continuous tense. So in the positive form of statement, we write subject plus am, is or are plus the verb plus the ing form. In the negative statement, we write subject plus am, is or are plus not plus the verb plus the ing form. And in the interrogative form, we write am, is or are plus the subject plus the verb plus ing. Now, we use present continuous tense firstly to describe something which is happening at the exact moment of speech. For example, Jim is watching television at the moment. Secondly, we describe an action that is taking place now but not at the exact moment of speech. For example, John is working in London. Thirdly, it is used to describe an event planned in the future. I am taking my French class on Tuesday. It is also used to describe a temporary situation. For example, I am staying with a friend for a few days. It is also used to emphasize the frequency of an action. For example, that child is always crying for no good reason. And lastly, it is used to describe changing situations. For example, her health is improving by leaps and bounds. Moving on, we have present perfect tense. Here, in the positive sentence, we write subject plus has or have plus the past participle. In the negative sentence, we write the subject plus have not or has not plus the past participle. And in the interrogative sentence, we write have or has plus subject plus the past participle. Now, coming to its usage, it is used to express things you have done in your life. For example, she has never studied Japanese. To express number of times you have done something. How many times have you tried to call her? It is also used to describe recently completed actions which are important now. For example, I have some bad news. I have lost my job. Next, it is used to express situations that started in the past and are still true. For example, I have known James for 4 to 5 years. It is also used to describe unfinished actions or situations. For example, I have read half of the book. And lastly, it is used to express present result. For example, John has missed the bus, so he'll be late. Now, students, we'll go through the use of has or have. Have or has cannot be used in continuous form, but only in simple present or past tense. And where they are used? When we talk about health of a person. For example, I have a headache. Secondly, they are used to talk about possession. For example, he has a big house in Goa. And thirdly, they are used to talk about relationships. For example, Lata has 3 sisters. Okay. Now moving on, we have present perfect continuous tense. In the positive sentence, we write the subject plus have or has plus been plus the third form of the verb. In the negative sentence, we write the subject plus have or has plus not plus been plus we plus ing. And in the interrogative sentence, we write have or has plus the subject plus been plus the verb plus ing. Now we use present perfect continuous tense to express long actions that started in the past and continue until now. For example, I have been living in Ireland for almost 4 years. It is also used to express recent actions that have clear evidence or results now. For example, her eyes are red because she's been crying all evening. And thirdly, it is used typically for shorter, more temporary situations. For example, have they been learning English this week? So this is all for the present tense. Next we come up to the past tense and its types. A tense expressing an action that has happened or state that previously existed is the past tense. For example, my brother was a good dancer. They saw the accident from their window. I wrote a book last year. She looked gorgeous in the red dress. All these examples are past tense. Now we have 4 types of past tense. In the simple past tense, we write the subject plus the second form of the verb plus the object. For example, I ate an apple. In the past continuous tense, we write the subject plus was or were plus the first form of the verb plus ing plus the object. For example, I was eating an apple. In the past perfect tense, we write the subject plus had plus the third form of the verb plus the object. For example, I had eaten an apple. In the past perfect continuous tense, we write the subject plus had plus been plus the first form of the verb plus ing plus the object. For example, I had been eating an apple. So, now the rules to remember in the simple past tense. Firstly, it is used to express completed action in the past. For example, I saw a ghost last Friday. Secondly, it is used to describe a series of completed actions in the past. For example, I finished work, walked to the beach, and found a nice place to swim. Thirdly, it is used to express habits in the past. For example, when I was young, I watched lots of television every day after school. And lastly, it is used for stative verbs, that is have, own, be, think, know, dislike, need, wish, etc. For example, he had a small cottage in the woods. Moving forward, we have past continuous tense and it is used to describe parallel actions. For example, while I was washing the dishes, I heard a loud noise. It is also used to describe what someone was doing at a particular point in time. For example, I was working in the garden all day yesterday. Thirdly, it is used to express interrupted action in the past. For example, I was driving to work when I crashed my car. And fourthly, it is used to describe repetition and irritation. For example, he was always complaining in class. Moving on, we have past perfect tense, and its usage is to describe an action finished before another past action. For example, Richard has gone out when his wife arrived in the office. It is used to describe an action that happened before a specific time in the past. For example, Christine had never been to an opera before last night. Thirdly, it is used to describe cause and effect. For example, I got stuck in traffic because there had been an accident. And fourthly, it is used to emphasize the result of an activity in the past. For example, I had been to London twice by the time I got a job in New York. Next, we have the past perfect continuous tense and its usages. Firstly, to describe a past action already started and continued up to another action or time in the past. For example, the boys had been playing soccer for about an hour when it started to rain. Next, it is used to express the duration before something in the past. For example, Richard needed a holiday because he had been working hard for 6 months. And lastly, it is used to describe the cause of something in the past. For example, he was tired because he had been jogging. So that's all for the past tense. Now we have the future tense and its types. A tense expressing an action that has not yet happened or a state that doesn't exist yet. That means the time which has to come is the future tense. For example, don't lift that, you will hurt yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. She will do her homework after lunch. We shall go to the beach if it's sunny outside. So all these are the examples of the future tense. Now we have 4 types of future tense. First is the simple future tense. We write subject plus will or shall plus the first form of the verb and then the object. For example, I will eat an apple. Secondly, we have future continuous tense. We write the subject plus will or shall plus be plus the first form of the verb plus ing plus the object. For example, I shall be eating an apple. Thirdly, we have future perfect tense and we write the subject plus will or shall plus have plus the third form of the verb plus the object. For example, I shall have eaten an apple. Fourthly, we have the future perfect continuous tense and we write the subject plus will or shall plus have plus been plus the first form of the verb plus ing plus the object. For example, I shall have been eating an apple. Moving on, the rules to remember for the simple future tense. It is used for actions decided at the moment of speech. For example, I have a toothache. I'll take some medicine. Secondly, it is used for unplanned future actions. For example, winter will come soon. Thirdly, it is used for offering, asking for a request, promising, ordering, or threatening. For example, I am afraid we will get wet. Next is used for unpreventable actions in future. For example, summer will come soon. Next, it is used with conditional, time, and purpose clause. For example, when I arrive at home, I will call you. And lastly, it is used for thoughts, predictions, assumptions, sureness, fears about future, etc. For example, I promise I won't tell this to anyone. Secondly, we have future continuous tense, and it is used to describe interrupted actions in the future. For example, when you come tomorrow, they will be playing tennis. Next, it is used to express actions in progress at a specific time in the future. For example, at 12 o'clock tomorrow, we will be having lunch at school. Thirdly, it is used to refer to actions that are happening now and expected to continue in the future. For example, unfortunately, sea levels will still be rising in 20 years. Next, it is used to ask a question politely about the future. For example, will you be bringing your friend to the party tonight? Next is used to emphasize future plans and intentions. For example, he'll be coming to visit us next week. Next, it is used to describe atmosphere in the future. For example, when I arrive at the party, everybody will be celebrating, some will be dancing. And lastly, it is used to express parallel actions or series of parallel actions in the future. For example, she'll be watching TV and he will be cooking dinner. I hope all the tenses are clear to all of you. Now, a quick recap. Tense is used to indicate whether a sentence, that is verb, is an action in the past, the present, or the future. Now, tenses are primarily characterized into three types: past tense, present tense, and future tense. The three types of tenses are further bifurcated into simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Students, I hope the topic tenses, its three types, and the further bifurcation is clear to everyone. Now, the past tense has simple past tense in which the action is simply mentioned and understood to have taken place in the past. In the past continuous tense, the action was ongoing till a certain time in the past. In the past perfect tense, it is used to express something that happened before another action in the past. And in the past perfect continuous tense, it is used to express something that started in the past and continued until another time in the past. Coming to present tense, simple present tense. The action is simply mentioned and there is nothing being said about its completeness. Present continuous tense, the action is ongoing or still going on and hence it is continuous. Present perfect tense, the action is complete or has ended and hence termed perfect. And present perfect continuous tense, the action has been taking place for some time and is still ongoing. Lastly, we have the future tense, and in the simple future tense, simple future is used when we plan or make a decision to do something. Nothing is said about the time in the future. The future continuous tense is used to express action at a particular moment in the future. The future perfect tense expresses an action that will occur in the future before another action in the future. And the future perfect continuous tense talks about an ongoing action before some point in the future. This is all about tenses. Now, in this table, you can see that how to change the sentences from affirmative to negative to interrogative sentences in the different form of tenses. In the present simple, affirmative is I have a car. It changes to I don't have a car in the negative. And in the interrogative, it is do I have a car? In the present continuous, you are playing football now. It changes to you are not playing football now. And are you playing football now? In the present perfect, they have been there. Negative, they haven't been there. And the interrogative, have they been there? In the present perfect continuous, I have been living here, which changes to I haven't been living here. And in the interrogative, it will be have they been living here? Past simple tense, I lived in London, which changes to I didn't live in London. And in the interrogative, it will be did I live in London? Past continuous, I was playing, which changes to I wasn't playing and was I playing. Past perfect, he had worked, which gets changed to he had not worked and had he worked. Past perfect continuous, I had been watching, which changes to I had not been watching in the negative sentence and had I been watching in the interrogative sentence. Future tense, simple future, I will come, which changes to I will not come, and will I come in. Future continuous, I will be playing basketball, which changes to I won't be playing basketball, and will I be playing basketball. Future perfect, he will have finished, he will not have finished, and will he have finished. And future perfect continuous tense, we will have been starting, we will not have been starting. And in the interrogative form, it changes to will we have been starting. So this is all for the tenses. I hope everything is clear to you. Thank you.